Have you ever sat down to do a very important task and then suddenly you picked up your phone to check the time and then a minute passes by and you find yourself engrossed in YouTube, browsing through top 10 funniest finds of the month and feeding your brain with all the irresistible and utterly entertaining contents? Or perhaps you suddenly realize that the dog needs to be fed, emails need to be answered, your ceiling fan needs dusting, or maybe you should go ahead and have lunch, even though it's only 11 a.m. Next thing you know, it's the end of the day and your important task remains untouched as it was. I guess we all have fallen into this trap sometime or the other. It's a very common habit we all share. So as we can understand, procrastination is to voluntarily delay an intended course of action despite expecting to be worse off for the delay. In other words, procrastination is doing more pleasurable things in place of less pleasurable ones. The end result is that the important tasks are put off to a later time. Well, if you have been facing any of these issues in your life, this video is for you because today we are going to talk about 4 psychological hacks that we can bring in play to save ourselves from this monstrous habit of procrastinating. So this is Joe here to help you help yourself. Stay tuned till the end of this video. Number 1. Make the task more achievable. One of the most prominent reasons for procrastination is the way we think about the task in hand. When we try to commit ourselves to a work that needs to be done, our brain first tries to get an overview of the total work and time we need to put in to get that work finished. Not breaking up the work into achievable bits will just tell your brain that it's tough and needs more energy and commitment that the brain is ready to give you at that moment. So, our brain in turn makes us feel stressed before we even begin doing it and stops us from providing the motivation and energy that we need to do that task. So, it wears out our brain and the brain doesn't cooperate with us. So the next time you have a deadline to get your work done, first break up the big work into smallest possible chunks. If you think the work needs about 3 hours in total, break your work in chunks of 15 minutes and tell yourself that you just need to reach the first checkpoint and then get yourself a reward for that. When you finish your first chunk, give your brain its reward, and that is the 5-minute video of the funniest finds you were waiting to watch. Yes, just the 5 minutes, and you'll find yourself wanting for more. Hold that urge and use it as your fuel for the second checkpoint. You will see, before you even finish watching the whole 20 minutes of your favorite finds, you'll have 1/3 of your work finished. Aha, it's that easy, but only if you can control the amount of rewards that you give your brain before you do the task. Number 2. Swallow the bitter pill first. The ugliest thing about procrastination is simply the daunting thought of doing the task. When we think that we have to do something that is really hard, it automatically makes us feel low just by thinking about it before we even start to do it. So if you keep your hardest task till the last minute, the thought of it also stays with it and it affects your whole day of work even when you're working on the easiest one for the moment. So the habit of keeping the harder task for a later time is actually giving fuel to your procrastinating brain. So what needs to be done? You need to cut out the fuel right away by finishing up the hardest work, doing it at the first hour of the day. It will make you feel very successful, happy, and lighter throughout the day when you start working on the other tasks, helping you to complete well in time. If you are done with the hardest task in the first hour, soon you'll find that the other tasks will seem very easy and cannot stress you down the way it would have if you let that harder one go unchecked from your list. So the next time you make your to-do list, put the hardest one on the top and get yourself right away to check that out of the list as soon as possible. I promise you the other ones will be checked before you even set your deadline for it. In other words, it's just swallowing the bitter pill first so that the other pills seem easy peasy. Number 3. Change your environment. You must be thinking, Joe, come on, what does environment have to do with this? But let me tell you that environment around you has a huge impact on your productivity. Think of it this way. A college student comes home from school, sits on the same corner of the room every day for homework. The same messy desk, puts the laptop on the same side of the table and does his homework. He gets an average C on his work because he submits his work just at the last moment. Yeah, a big procrastinator. So, he is not happy, but again he does the same thing the next day and gets the same results. Now, subconsciously our brain starts to attach emotions and feelings with our regular way of doing things, and as a result, when we start repeating the same old way of doing things each and every time, our brain fires and wires the same circuits of emotions and eventually develops an automated program of emotions without you even being aware of it. But a little change in the environment, like sitting in a coffee shop to study or even changing the outlook of your room, will give the brain a totally new scenario to deal with totally new emotions. Your brain will not be able to associate the same procrastinating feeling that you always go through this time because it has to adapt to a new set of surroundings. So if you feel you need to bring some changes in your life or stop procrastinating, then you should make some changes in your environment right away. Last but not least, the 3-2-1 method. One of the most effective methods of stopping procrastination is the simple hack called the 3-2-1. This is very much effective when it comes to tasks that are possible to do right then and there, but we tend to delay it for a later time. So the next time whenever you think of a task that needs to be done right now, start counting down from 3, 2, 1, and just as you hit 1, stop whatever you are doing or thinking and get the job done. It can be used in situations like, suppose you just came back from work and you see a pile of dishes waiting for you on the sink. You might feel like, oh, I'll do the dishes, but before that, let me go through my messages and see what my friends are doing tonight. Stop right there. Count 3, 2, 1, and start doing the dishes right after that. This is a simple trick of tricking your brain from tricking you. Whenever your brain tells you that it's a very small thing and can be done later, that is the exact moment you should remember to use this trick and get your work done. So, 3, 2, 1, go do your dishes, boy. We learn from watching videos every day, but we always tend to forget the most important part of our learning, that is taking the first step to actually do it. If you watch this video, then I challenge you to start implementing these hacks right away to one of the things from your to-do list right now. Let us know in the comments down below what you think can help with procrastination or has helped you deal with it. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe for us to reach you with exciting videos for you to live a better tomorrow.